Hey there! I am teacher Alyssa, and my referrals have been asking me to demonstrate the mock lessons. So I'm going to demonstrate the Mock 1, My Country, My Culture lesson for you. And this is by no means the only way to do this lesson. VIPKID looks for certain things, TPR, good energy, rewards, not too much incidental language, extending the material, and so on. So there are lots of different ways to do all those things. So I am just trying to give you some suggestions to help you pass. If you don't have a referral teacher yet, I would love to help you. I've helped a lot of teachers. It's a really fun job. I highly recommend it. It has helped my family a lot. Pay for all the extra things we need in life, and send me an email or use my referral down below. And here is the Mock 1 lesson, but part 2 of that. It is the My Country, My Culture lesson. So here is how I start. I'll stop every once in a while to give you a couple tips, but I'll try to make it as fluid as I can. Hello! My name is Teacher Alyssa. Hello! What is your name? Hello, Angela! How are you? I am fine. Great! How old are you? 10. Very good. Now, if any of those questions, if she doesn't say a complete sentence when she answers them, I would say 10. I am 10 years old, and expect her to answer back. You don't want to make that beginning too long. You want to get right into the lesson. Even though there's no reward slide, you do need to reward on this part of the lesson. When you do a good job, you get money. Are you ready? Great. Again, I am ready, or I help her with that sentence. I am ready. This is a higher level English student, so she should be a fairly good speaker, but even that higher level student sometimes doesn't speak in complete sentences, and we want to get them to speak in complete sentences as much as possible so that we can get that 30% speaking amount for the teacher and 70% amount for the student. We want them to be speaking a lot. You don't have to use money, obviously. Use something appropriate for that age level. You can use faces, you can use stars, you can use some other magnet, but you should post it where the student can see it the entire time of the lesson. When you do a good job, you get money. Are you ready? I am ready. Great, let's go. My country. Please read this. So you have to point opposite to where you think. So the slide feels like it's on this side of you, but you need to point this way. It's a little tricky, but very helpful to point. So I want to point towards the slide, which is actually away from where I think it is. So please read. I underline what I want them to read. She reads, China is my country. It is a land where I was born. If there is any mispronunciation of any sort, I would say country. China is my country. I like having this definition somehow posted. It's a little hard to remember without it being posted somewhere. So it's not only for the student, but it's for me too. There is a little break between the beginning mock lesson and this end mock lesson. And there's a chat box over to your right. Before you get going on this lesson, you can type this definition into that chat chat box. So you can read it to the student, and then you can go like this and point to where you typed it earlier. You could actually type it and then just press return when you're at this portion of the lesson. If that's too much for you, don't worry. It will probably score you a little bit of points though using that chat box, because in a real class, that chat box is there to support the lesson. So after the student does the reading, I would say, country is a nation with people, language, culture, land, and government. You could also have a picture of a government building. I have one on my phone. I wouldn't use the one on my phone for the lesson, but you could print it out and show. I sort of struggle with how to show government on this. So then I would ask a couple questions. I would circle country. What country is this? This is China. What country were you born in? And if the student just says China, I would say, I was born in China. Very good. Click to the next slide. Flag. A flag is a piece of cloth that represents a country. Don't do that. Hold it up and down. Okay, so have the student read that. You could actually have the student read the entire thing, underline, say, please read. Have them read the top and the bottom. What country is this flag from? This flag is from China. Very good. Oh, okay. Make sure you show cloth. You could have a separate piece of cloth if you want to show that. Then move on to the next slide. Again, if there are any mispronunciations, you help with that. Read this. They read that slide. Represents. That might be a word that they have difficulty with, so you could do represents to show the syllables on that. What country does this flag represent? It represents America. What country does this flag represent? It represents China. Sorry. Very good. You get $1. Yay! Very good. You want to reward the student for maybe every 2 slides or so. You want to, make it sort of a natural reward for when the student does some good talking, some good reading. Say, good reading, you get $1. Represent. These represent things. These Chinese characters represent language. What does this represent? You might even ask, what is this? See what the student says. Pretty much all answers are fine. Remember, you're teaching English, so if they say it represents McDonald's, or this is McDonald's, this is an M, yes. This symbol represents McDonald's. Do you eat at McDonald's? Yes, I do. What do you eat at McDonald's? I would circle it on that slide. I eat French fries. Very good. Again, you're expecting full sentences. You're just trying to extend to get a little more language in there. What is this? They may be quiet. Nike. What does this symbol represent? They may or may not know. I had a shoe around here somewhere. This symbol represents shoes. This symbol represents shoes. You want complete sentences. What does this represent? This represents cars. You could have a little car there. Again, you're asking the question and having them say a complete sentence to answer. You may not even have to ask the question. Remember, you want less talking from you. After you've asked it a couple times, you can circle it and say, and see what they say. Maybe they'll say, Puma, it represents clothes. If they don't, you can say, this represents clothes. Again, making sure that your props are related to the important content in the lesson. And then move on. You don't need to extend all of these, but a couple of them are good to extend, especially that McDonald's picture, because there's lots to talk about. What do you eat? Have you ever been to McDonald's? Again, wanting them to say full sentences. Please read for this China is the country capital slide. They read, underline. Before they read that bottom, you should introduce capital. Read this and underline that slide. Very good. What is the capital of China? Beijing. If they say one word, you say, Beijing is the capital. You can use this full sentence to get them to say a full sentence. China is the capital, or Beijing is the capital of China. Good job. Have you been to Beijing? Now you may even want to say, do you live in Beijing? No. Where do you live? They give you the answer, full sentence. Have you been to Beijing? Very good. What did you do in Beijing? I visited a museum, I saw buildings, whatever. Any answer is perfectly okay. Check your time here, because depending on how quickly you're going through things, you can ask an extra extension question. You could ask just one extension question, but at this level, those extension questions are very important. If you have even more time, you could say, do you know the capital of America? They may say yes. What is the capital? And then, they may say Washington, D.C. If they don't, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. The capital, and have them say that full sentence again. If you don't have time for all those questions, I would stick to the capital of China, Beijing. Have you been there? Those questions would be great. Then landmark. Landmark or landmarks. Read this, have them read the top. Then have them read the middle, where it says a landmark is a place or a building that is famous for and important for a country. Then circle, these are landmarks. Read these. Yellow Mountains, the Great Wall, Tiananmen Square, helping with the pronunciation of each of those. And then you say, some landmarks are made by people. I'm demonstrating a hammer. You're trying to get some TPR in wherever you can. You want to show the interviewer that you know TPR and you are using it to support the content. Some landmarks are natural. If you had a little picture of a tree, that would be a great way to show natural. The Yellow Mountains is natural. Have them repeat that sentence. Is Tiananmen Square natural or made by people? Tiananmen Square is made by people. Very good. Have you been to Tiananmen Square? What did you see in Tiananmen Square? Or why did the Chinese people build the Great Wall? Whatever answer the interviewer comes up with is great. You're not really teaching history here. You're teaching language. You want to get them to speak. So as long as they are speaking grammatically correct and in full sentences, that's good. The next slide is the sorting slide. Famous. Read this. Have them read famous landmarks of China. Have them read the two sections, made by people, natural. Sort the places. Have them sort first and then model the first sentence. The Great Wall was made by people. The next one, sentence, and you can have them say the next one. The terracotta warriors were made by people. And you might even have to start them off. The terracotta warriors were made. Have them finish the sentence. Then circle and have them do the next ones. Depending on time, they don't have to say that full sentence for all of them. You could have them do all of them if time is good. Good job! You get money! Yay! You really should be rewarding more than this, every 2 slides or so. And then you come to this slide. I just copied it ahead of time. You definitely do not want to be doing this writing during the lesson. Prepare whatever you need to prepare ahead of time. C sometimes says S. S. When E follows C, I follows C, or Y follows C, it says S. Scent. Please read ice, correcting as they go. If you see they are really not getting that S sound, you may have to read it and have them repeat, but this is a higher level student. They probably have read these words before in context. They may just be able to read them after your brief explanation. Good job! You get 2 pieces of money. Yay! Great job. You did a good job, Angela. High five. Very good. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. And that is it. Remember to reward, use energy, use TPR where you can. The props are great, but you also want to be using TPR. If for some of those props on the represent slide you don't have actual food for, you can just go like this to show food, sort of go through that whole lesson and see where you can put the TPR or the motions in. Not quite as much as that first lesson, but a lot. So great job! You are going to pass. Good job. Hit me up down below either with questions or use me as your referral. I give lots of one-on-one, and good luck. You will love this job.